Thank you.
Okay.
You can need the mic too. That's okay.
Sure.
Questions?
I know it's early, but how would you say the depth chart's shaping up in linebacker?
It's a mess simply because we've got lots of guys that are competing. They're all trying to learn a new defense, and right now we're just rotating guys through, trying to give them equal reps until we can figure out if there's a little bit of separation between guys. So right now it's kind of even for everybody.
You coached a long time, Jay. Have you ever had to do this before? Three new starting linebackers at the same time?
Don't think I have. Don't think I have. But they're working hard. They're competing. We just got to see how the competition works out.
Jay, there's no substitute for experience, but in some ways, considering it's a blank slate for these guys learning a new defense, can that also be benefits?
Well, you don't have to deprogram them from something different that they've already learned and go through that process, so that's a positive. So everybody's starting with a clean slate and working from the ground level up. From that perspective, that's a positive, yeah.
The first 3 days, anybody really stand out, catch your eye?
Well, today is the first day you could really, I think, take serious note of that just because we wore pads for the first day. And, you know, I really hesitate to go that direction because I think the thing I got to do is go in there and look at that video. I always find that I'm much better served to answer that question after I've seen it a couple times back and forth on video.
What have you seen from Najee Clayton to want him as a linebacker as opposed to a safety?
Very athletic. The way we're using our Sams with all the spread offenses that are out there right now, that guy's kind of a hybrid between a linebacker and a safety. And so he possesses really good movement skills, and obviously having been a safety, that's going to serve him well moving into the linebacker spot.
So I guess the same thing for Greg Jones. What made him fit there?
Really, the thinking was along the same lines with both of those guys transitioning into linebacker.
How about as far as the middle linebacker? I think Brandon Russell was working there. I think he was on the outside with the other team. Why shift him inside?
Well, really we're looking at skill sets, and that seemed to be his best skill set at this point. Again, those evaluations are going to be ongoing. Things are going to change as we get deeper into practice and watch guys compete. But right now we've really got 4 or 5 mics that are just being rotated through almost evenly until we can kind of figure out who sifts out above someone else. At that point, then we'll begin to settle into something that's more of a depth chart.
It's day 3 now. If we talk to you day 15, what would you be satisfied? What would satisfy you in the spring camp?
I want to see us be fundamentally sound. I want to see us be assignment sound. I want to see us be a team that plays hard and is a team that's productive. When guys are at the point of attack, I want to find out if they're athletic enough to make plays when they're in that situation.
Coach, at safety, Coach putting Hester at free safety and Anthony Beckett. What went into that decision?
You know, the field and boundary safeties have a little bit different issues to deal with. The boundary safety is a little bit more involved in run defense just because the ball's on the hash a lot more in college football. So that's part of it. The field safety, on the other hand, deals with some route combinations that maybe you don't get as often into the boundary. So again, that's not chiseled in stone either. That'll be an ongoing evaluation, just like all 11 positions at this point. So I know I'm not getting very concrete on these answers, but it just really is too early to be any other way.
You mentioned what you're looking for out of your Sam. As we familiarize ourselves with your defense, what do you look for in a starting Will?
Well, he's plays in the box a lot more, provided we're looking at 1-back and 2-back offenses. He's in the box a lot more, so he's kind of right between the Sam and the Mike. He needs some coverage ability like the Sam possesses, but he also has to be a guy who can go line up in the box and defend the run as well as a Mike does. So he's a kind of a combination of those two positions.
How's the dynamic working with you and Chris? 'Cause I know he said he wants to be in the room a lot, but then, how's that working out?
It's been great. It really has. You know, we're not very deep into this yet, but he's just been excellent to work with, as I expected. He's got great knowledge and advice, and times when he needs to step out, he can. At times when he chooses to be in, he can. It's been a very seamless transition, to be honest with you.
How will the play calling work?
Well, what he's told me most recently is that I'm going to be calling the game, and I think that's the way it'll work out. I'm sure he's going to have his input, like any head coach would want, but that's our plan right now.
Are you a box guy, or are you like being in the field?
We haven't decided that yet either. I think a lot of issues will come into play with regards to how the rest of the staff feels about some of the responsibilities that go with being up or down. So we'll have to tweak that as we go as well. In the past, I've been up. Probably that would be my preference, but I'm not opposed to going down if that's what's best for the overall communication system.
What are you looking for out of the early enrollment guys on defense? A little more Manning and Pollock.
Well, the main thing is they're just getting exposed to the system. You know, they're put in a very unique situation. Guys that are in their high school class are back dealing with prom and different things like that right now. So just to have them here and have them go through the 15 spring practices, get in the meeting rooms, listen to the coaching points, just puts them way ahead of where they would be if they hadn't been here right now. So really everything that they can get right now is a bonus.
Jay, speaking as a DC, I know he's not out on the field, but Kamoko, since we talked to you the last 3 months, what do you kind of envision from him, or what's your first impression been at Kamoko?
Well, he's a long, lean, athletic guy. Again, I know you guys are all wanting more detail the answers than what I'm giving you, but I would expect him to be productive and be an every down guy if he keeps coming and doing the things that he's capable of. But we got a lot of D linemen that are involved in rotations right now. They're getting lots of reps, and we haven't had this discussion yet, but I've always been a big believer in playing lots of guys up front. So that may be the way it works when it's all said and done.
What about rotating linebackers? Are you a guy who likes to 3 guys, whoever starts to play a lot? Or
well, if guys are even, then I like them both to be able to play. If there's a great deal of separation, then that may not be the case. If there's just a little separation, then the rotation would reflect the amount of separation we feel is there.
How would you describe like the coverage philosophy in your defense?
Well, right now we're combining zone and man both, and I think that's what we'll continue to do. We don't have any. We're not even close to having the package put in. We've only got 3 or 4 calls put in after these 3 days, and we've got to transition into some third down work Thursday. So it's going to be a mixture. And again, once we can kind of figure out if we've got guys that can play man, that will dictate some of the percentage of that type of coverage versus zone. We just have to see how they do.
TJ Taylor, obviously a guy who's bounced coming back from a big injury. Have you seen anything from him that's kind of flash?
TJ is a really intelligent player. I don't think he's back to full speed yet. Still wearing the knee brace, and I think it's going to be a situation where you just see him get better and better athletically once he bounces back and his body adapts to the changes that he's gone through. But he's off to a good start, doing some nice things.
Any other questions? Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.